Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining today, this webinar about overcoming fears. My voice is a little raspy. I woke up with a bit of a sore throat this morning, so I hope that you'll bear with me and follow along. I'm already recording and I'm going to start sharing my screen so that you can follow along with the presentation. All right, give me 1 second here and I'll get this shared. All right, so common fears, overcoming and embracing fear. The reason I wanted to do this webinar is because I used to be held back by fears, and it wasn't something that I'd always dealt with, I don't think. I think it was just something that happened after a little while, and the steps that I took to overcome that fear and to actually embrace it. And I feel like lots of people are held back from doing something that they really love, or that they don't even know that they love yet, but they have a burden on their heart and they just feel held back. And I feel like we're not thriving in life. We are surviving, and that's not the way we were intended to live. You know, we only have one life, and there's so much more that we could be doing with it. And why should we let something like fear hold us back? So I'm going to talk about fears today, define it, a few different types of fears, and then I'm going to move into sharing how I overcame it and what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and get started here. So we have three pictures here. It's a mountain, obviously, but three different perspectives of this mountain. And the first one, you know, really far away, it looks like it's huge and it's just insane. The amount of time it would take you to get from that starting point to the top of that mountain can be overwhelming. It's intimidating, but you know what? It's also awe-inspiring. I mean, it makes you realize how small we are, but how much potential we have. And then the second picture here we have is a halfway up the mountain look. So you're looking actually down the peak from where you've come from, and you can see your progress. And then when you turn and you look up the mountain, you still have quite a ways to go, right? So it is encouraging, but it's still difficult. You know, if you stop right there, you've only finished half of your journey. And even though you made some great accomplishments, your journey's still not done. And then the last picture here is at the peak of the mountain. And if you can just picture being at the top of the mountain and looking down, you know, you're up here at the top of this peak and you're looking down at all these trees and in the valley, and you have such a broader perspective of the reality of things and a true grasp of what you just accomplished. You feel yourself soar at what you just accomplished. You feel the power of conquering. And I think that's a huge deal. So I just want you to keep, you know, the whole mountain in mind as we're going through this, because I think it's a great illustration of struggles and fears. So what if you let your fear keep you at the bottom? What if you stayed at the bottom? Does it really matter if you don't know what you're missing? If you never take that first step, does it really matter if you feel like you're okay with the mundane or you're okay where you are? Well, I want to address that today. And that's where we get the idea of surviving and not thriving. So let's talk about fears. So what are the most common fears that I think are holding people back? And a lot of these are my fears as well. Some common fears are fear of failure. You don't want to start because you're just not sure you can do it. You're afraid what other people are going to say or think about you, because maybe it's something that's just not ordinary. It's not what people typically do. You don't feel like you're skilled or educated enough. You don't feel like you've had the right training. You don't feel like an expert that you should be. Another one here is, you know, you don't have any money. Like, that sounds great, but how am I going to pay for it? You don't have time, you know, and these two go hand in hand. You know, you don't have money, so you're working, so you have no time. So even if you do get money, you don't get to spend it, you know. And this is a common fear that if I don't have time right now, how in the world am I going to find time to do something else? Because most people can't just drop everything they're doing in life and start something new. That's not a potential reality for people, and that's totally understandable. You know, another fear is that I don't know anyone. No matter what field you're in, most of the time it's about knowing people, whether you're starting your own business or you know, you're trying to create an organization or a movement or whatever it is. You just feel like you don't know people and you're going to run out of people to talk to. Well, like I said, the biggest one here, I think, is the fear of failure, because you just don't know what's going to happen and you don't know what it's going to look like. So what is fear? The definition I found of fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. Now that's pretty straightforward, right? Obviously, fear is something that scares us, but there are two different types of fears. And actually, it's a good thing, fight or flight. This is instilled in us because, back in the days when we didn't have so much technology and there were, we're living in the wilderness, there were animals, and we needed this ability to know if we needed to stay and fight or if we needed to flee and protect ourselves. It's a good thing. It really does protect us. And it produces a response in us that reacts in the way that we should. So fear is a good thing, and fear keeps us safe from some things that really are dangerous. But like I said, there are two kinds of fears, okay? There's internal and external. So my definition of internal fear is the fear that originates inside our minds and cannot physically harm us. For example, it's, you're scared of drowning while you're sitting in the comfort of your living room. Obviously, this is in your mind. It's internal. It has nothing to do with anything external around you at the moment. Now, if you had been at the beach, that'd be different. But, it's completely in your mind, and it's not based on anything on the outside of you. So then external fear, by my definition, is a fear that originates outside of your mind and body and presents a real physical danger. I have a picture of a bear here. This would be like a bear charging at you. That is a good fear to have, to run away, right? It's going to signal you to flee. I can't imagine anyone who would stand and fight a charging bear if you had the opportunity to escape. So it's a very real danger presenting itself. And it's external. It's not just how you feel about it or what you think about it. It's an actual reality. I found this study here from Chapman University in California about the different domains of fear. And I found this really interesting because if you look at this chart, there are all different kinds of fears as a group, all different types. And I find it very interesting because some of these fears are internal. They are based on us and what we think, while others are external fears and we have no control over them whatsoever. So like natural disasters, we have no control over when they happen or where they happen. Or you can think of, personal anxieties, right? So that's an internal fear. That's something that we fear. Maybe it is based in some sort of reality to us, or maybe it's not based in reality, but just something that we've heard or told ourselves. So you can see there's different types of fears, right? They're not all the same. Not all fear is created equal. There are different kinds, and it's good to have an understanding of both. But I think there's also a third type of fear, okay? My definition of this is it's subconscious fear, okay? It's a fear that has become deeply rooted in your mind based on the truths or lies that eventually become beliefs. Like hearing you are too dumb to go to college, telling yourself you're too dumb to go to college, until it becomes your own truth that you are too dumb to go to college, right? And that's not true. And it's something that it becomes a belief in us. And it has a lot to do with the way that we talk about ourselves and talk to ourselves. And the way, I see you, buddy. My son is doing a side plank on the top of the couch. But anyways, fears are the stories we tell ourselves, or the stories that we allow other people to tell ourselves, and then we hold on to them. And I think this is the key fear here. That is what holds us back from our true potential in just exceeding our expectations and getting out of the ordinary and moving into the extraordinary. And so this is what I want to talk about today. Self-talk. This is what I just mentioned. Self-talk is a huge thing. It's how we see ourselves. And, we have our brain is such a complex system. We can train our brain, retrain our brain, untrain our brain. But the truth is, sometimes our brain does have a mind of its own. And if we continually talk to ourselves one way, that is what our brain habitually starts creating paths for. So if you continually tell yourself or allow others to tell you that you aren't smart enough, eventually your brain starts thinking that it isn't smart enough, because that's the truth that it has created, and it's created these neurological paths that's your automatic go-to response, right? Fight or flight. There's a response there. And this is a response that you're creating in your own mind. And so that's why the way we talk to ourselves plays a huge role in how we see ourselves, what we do, and how we present ourselves to others. Excuse me. Oh, man. Sorry. So, 1 second. Hello. See, cold. Okay, so sorry about that. My daughter was going to take over the show there for me. I love this quote here by Cheryl Strayed. You know, it's fear to a great extent is born of a story we tell ourselves. And so I choose to tell myself a different story from the one women are told. I decided I was safe, I was strong, and I was brave. Sorry. So then we have to think about the 5 steps to overcoming our fears. Okay, and the first step of anything is awareness. Talk about overcoming, right? It's not really a fear, but overcoming the fact that I'm coughing to death because my throat doesn't want to work today. Anyway, okay, awareness. I am aware that I'm coughing to death, and that's okay. Anyway, the first step of anything is just becoming aware that there is a fear there, and it may be deeply rooted, and it's going to take some time, right? But you need to be, first of all, aware that all right, I'm going to push through this. Don't worry. Okay. So then the next step is an examination. So then you're going to be thinking about, what type of fear is it? What are the dangers that are associated with this fear? What is scary about it? You know, what is scary? You know, does it totally terrify you to go on stage and talk to people? Why is that so scary to you? You know, and you need to think about, sorry, you know, what are the types of things that you're worried about? What's making you anxious about it? You know, are you afraid that, you know, and that leads in the next one, evaluation. You know, what is it that you're scared about? Are you afraid that you're going to fall off the stage? Are you afraid that you're going to have a coughing fit right in the middle of it and not know what to do? You know, are you afraid that everyone is going to think that what you have to say is not important? You know, whatever it is, you need to figure out what it is that scares you about that particular fear. And then you evaluate that. So what happens if that fear comes to fruition? So say you're talking and you have a coughing fit, and you know it's your worst fear and it's come to reality. What do you do with that? Does that does that keep you from wanting to speak? If you have something really important to say, you know, if if you really truly believe in your message, but this fear is holding you back, are you going to allow that? So then you make a decision. You know, I'm terrified of speaking because I'm afraid that I will have a coughing fit and I won't be able to go on, or, you know, I'll be delayed, or people are going to have to sit and listen to me hacking. If this happens, is what I am speaking on more important and worth the risk, the time, the effort, and the potential danger? You know, is it worth it if these things were to happen? And if it is, then you make a plan. Okay, and any plan has 3 different points to it. You make your immediate steps that you're going to take right away. You make your short-term steps, so like within like the next week, 2 weeks, whatever, you know, month, whatever it is that you have it set up to be. And then your long-term steps. So this is like maybe in 3 months, you know, or 6 months or a year, you know, that's when you reevaluate. But you set these steps in order to get to where you want to be, because you've decided that the risk is worth it, because the dangers aren't as real as you thought they were, or your message is just too important to allow those fears to hold you back and keep you from doing that. And then, you know, when you start acting on your plans that you set up and the steps that you're going to take, you embrace this fear because you want to grasp your potential, right? You can't change anything or do anything or make your reality any different if you continue to do the same thing. Everything will remain ordinary if you only do the ordinary. But if you step out of those bounds and take the risks, I'm not talking about taking risks, you know, like putting your life in danger. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just taking risks in your life of something that's extraordinary that you wouldn't normally do in your ordinary life. And these are the fears I felt, okay? I've never been afraid of breaking into a coughing fit, which is good because it happens. But, you know, I failed before. What makes this time any different? I don't know anyone. I get nervous to talk to people. I'm not that outgoing girl I used to be. I hate selling. I don't have perfect health. So why would people want to look at me if I don't have a perfect body? Other people make money, but I won't. I don't know what I'm doing. Why would anyone want to join my team? I don't have time now as it is. I'll just spend a bunch of money and never feel different or convince others to try the same products. I told myself all of these things before I got into business with SHAKLEE. And some of them were rooted in truth. Some of them were rooted in half-truths that either others told me or I had told myself. And some were serious beliefs that I had allowed to root themselves in my mind. And I still continue to, have to daily overcome these types of things. But it does get easier after a while. But what I found was none of those fears presented any possibility of physical danger. When I thought about it, none of those things actually would harm me if they did come to fruition. So to me, the risk was worth it because honestly, there was nothing that I was going to lose. The only thing that I was going to gain was pretty much everything. The power that I feel in running after the mountaintop goals that I set for myself is better than any safety in not stepping out. Growing by leaps and bounds has been a huge thing. And these are the 5 things that changed. I like the number 5. It just seems so perfect for explaining things. Okay, I'm busy right now. Okay, buddy? In a minute, okay? You can go drink Holly's or get a new cup, okay? So these are the 5 things that changed when I embraced my fears. The me I envision is the me I project. I speak well to myself, right? It's all about that mindset. If you're speaking poorly to yourself, then that is what you're going to produce for other people. I have grown and continue to grow both personally and professionally. It truly is incredible. I used to be a super outgoing person, and I got to this point where, honey, I'm busy. Not until I'm done. You can wait, okay? And I just became this person that wasn't me. I was afraid to talk to people. I literally physically felt the fears present themselves. Like I would start sweating. I would get really warm. I would, sometimes start shaking. I was that nervous. It's just crazy things like that, and that's not the person that I was. So I definitely have grown, and I know I'm continuing to grow. I feel freedom in who I am and what I'm about. I am excited about the things that I love and that I'm passionate about. And I love sharing that with other people. And I know that I can do that because I'm not afraid of what other people are going to say. They can say what they want, and that's okay. But I'm going to hold to what I believe in. I confidently share with boldness what makes me passionate, because what else is there? I don't want to be ordinary. I want to hold on to the things that move my heart, and I want to share this with other people because I know how important it is, how much it's changed my life, how it's changed so many other people's lives. And I want to share that with others because I truly believe in what I'm doing. And I don't speak apologetically to others of who I am. What I represent are my belief. I never apologize anymore about what I do for my job, and that's not even really a job. I don't apologize for being a stay-at-home mom. I don't apologize for being an Army wife. I don't apologize for having my own business in SHAKLEE. And originally when people asked me, what do? I stumbled over my answer, and I still do sometimes, but it's more natural to me now because it is so deeply rooted, this new mindset and thought that it is such an amazing opportunity and it truly does help people. So I'm not going to apologize or come off as unsure of what I'm doing or who I am, because I know who I am and I'm excited about it and I'm passionate about it. And this is a question I want to pose to you. What if you had no time limitations, no financial stressors? You did work that you loved, and I am busy right now. You had a flexible schedule and you were helping others. All of these things. What if I told you that you could have all of those things? It is possible. And when you own your fears and you take that step, Dr. SHAKLEE said, your future life will be exactly what you decide to make it. And isn't that so true? If I decide to sit on my butt all day, sometimes we do need that. Sometimes we need to relax and takes time. But if I decided to do that every day and that was going to be my reality, but then, housework never got done and our kids weren't cared for and meals weren't made for us, that's what our life would be, right? I mean, eventually we'd probably gain a lot of weight. We wouldn't be very healthy. Our house would be in disarray, and our family probably wouldn't be as close-knit or enjoyable, for each other's company as we are now, just because, I created this reality based on maybe what I was telling myself, that maybe I wasn't good enough to have a nice house, or who cares because it's always messy, But what are you deciding to make it? Your future, it's your future and nobody else's future. What are you deciding to make it? And I asked myself this question. It was a wonderful thing for me to be able to stay home with our kids. And it is still a true blessing. But the truth was, there was still a part of me that was missing, something that just wasn't there, that interaction with other people, just having something that was mine to create and to grow and just to nurture, and partnered with my belief in natural products and just this desire to be the healthiest me that I possibly could. SHAKLEE found me, and it was a perfect fit for what I was looking for and what I'm passionate about and what I'm motivated to share with other people. And this slide right here is the SHAKLEE difference. And this is one of the biggest reasons, or I should say several of the reasons, why I chose SHAKLEE over all the other options out there to help me to be my vehicle for overcoming my fears and stepping out and going for it and dreaming again. They do 350 tests on every new botanical ingredient that comes in for contaminants, pesticides, and other residues. And they don't take our vendor's word for it, because sometimes things happen, Sometimes rain runs off from a nearby farm and contaminates produce, or whatever botanical it is. And Shaklee tests for all that. And that's incredible because that doesn't happen with most companies nowadays. There's over 125 published scientific papers and peer-reviewed journals. That's really awesome because you can't pay to be in a peer-reviewed journal. What that means is that your peers within the scientific world are agreeing with your studies and findings and research. And that's really a big deal. Shaklee was part of a 20-year study, not done by Shaklee, but done by the University of Berkeley, California, where they tested Shaklee users. First of all, most people don't use products for 20 years. Second of all, the fact that a third party was doing this test is just amazing and speaks to the longevity and the fact that Shaklee does work. And thirdly, the results speak for themselves. Shaklee users were much healthier than compared to the non-supplement users and the supplement users who just got theirs out of a store. And it's just studies like that, which are really awesome and speak to the quality of Shaklee. They have over 100,000 quality tests a year to ensure purity and potency. And I love that, Shaklee will never give you a subpar product. Someone just fell. But will never give you a product that, just to make a profit, even though they know that the ingredients in there are not so good, because that's not what Shaklee believes in, and that's not what they put forth. And there's some other things here, but the quality and purity and potency and their dedication to that is what makes Shaklee different. And then the fact that the products actually work and it saves you money is just all bonuses, right? And Shaklee as a company is positioned for growth. So if you look at this graph here, Shaklee is in the middle, and they're centered in this growing, booming industry, this consumer market that's expected to grow by $1 trillion in just the next 10 years. So within this, it's health and wellness, home-based business, nutrition, beauty, anti-aging, and going green. Shaklee is in the center of all this, and Shaklee encompasses it all. A new business builder I just signed up said she loved how Shaklee really has something in every area that is important to our lives. And I love that because it's so true. Shaklee just is this company that puts on the values that I already have and gives me products that I already wanted. And it's just an amazing marriage together of all the things that, I was looking for, and it creates opportunity for you, like I said, to dream. When you overcome those fears and you do something that's uncomfortable at first, and you keep doing it, eventually you're going to see that growth and be able to look back and just reflect on that and be so thankful for that. People in Shaklee, it's real people making real money. When you get to be a director, which is the first level, you're making about $800 a month. And for most of us stay-at-home moms, I can't speak for most, for all, but for us to go out and get a job at this point in, being out of the workforce for so many years, we probably wouldn't be making very much. And to have childcare and to turn around and, to pay for all of the extra expenses, it doesn't really pan out for us. And that's just the first level. And honestly, you can start making money, as you're sharing, and you don't have to, be at a rank to make money. There's real money even before you get there. And I love that, it covers my products, and who doesn't love that? I'm going to use the products anyway. So the fact that they're paid for is pretty awesome. You remember this from one of our first slides? These are the different types of fears that I think are really common for people. And these are all the fears that I had about doing a network marketing business. And honestly, these are the responses to those. Failure. The only way you fail is if you quit. And this is so true. I've wanted to quit so many times just because I felt like I was putting in too much work and nobody was saying yes. And I wanted to quit, but I didn't. I kept going, and now I'm starting to see the fruit of that. That, people who have said no originally have come back and said, hey, I kind of have some questions about that, So really, the only way you fail is if you quit. And not educated enough, honestly, you learn as you earn, which is so awesome. You don't have to be, you don't have to have a college degree, or you don't have to go to a tech school, or you don't have to have all this training before you actually start making money like a typical job. You get to do it as you go, and you have people who have been in longer who can help you along, and there's tools and all kinds of resources at your fingertips to help you fill in the gaps that you don't know. No money. It honestly is a small investment with limitless potential. Because if you think about starting your own business, if you wanted to get into a franchise, you have to pay millions just to get in. That's a lot of money. I don't have that kind of money. And I don't want to take out a loan for that because that's just ridiculous. No time. I thought this too, but I'm just redirecting my time. I found that there were some areas in my day that maybe I wasn't using my time the best way that I possibly could, or maybe I was just mindlessly doing things, or maybe I just wasn't being as efficient in one area as I could be. So I'm redirecting that time, and I have plenty of time that I get to work the business. Some days it's crazy, but we just roll with it, and that's okay. And if you think you don't know anyone, you meet new people every day. Even if you stay at home, we have social media at our fingertips where, we get to reach out and, connect with people all the time. If you go to the store, you don't know the cashier, you can say hi, you can make that connection. You just need to be aware of meeting new people. And one of my favorite authors and network marketing professionals is Eric Worre. If you haven't read his book, GoPro, I highly, highly recommend it. I give it to all my business builders when, they're ready to start building that business, because it just is an amazing book that just gives you practical steps to explode your business and become a professional. And if you're worried about what people will say and think, he says, we must accept a temporary loss from social esteem from closed-minded people. And it's true. The network marketing is not within the typical frame of business. People think a pyramid. Well, every job is like a pyramid. You have a boss and workers and everyone underneath, but SHAKLEE is the only one, and in network marketing, where you can actually surpass anyone who's above you, just depending on how hard you're working and the time you're putting in, and the fact that you're not quitting while other people might, So I just think that's such an amazing thing. So I have two questions for you. The first is what you're doing now getting you closer to your dreams? And maybe you haven't dreamt for a while, but is what you're doing today, is what you're doing this week, this month, this year, is it going to get you closer to the ultimate goals that you have for yourself? And can you see the possibilities explode with your own SHAKLEE business? Or whatever that is, put whatever it is there for you. For me, this is how I overcame my fears. And this is how I catapulted myself into getting closer to my dreams and to laying that foundation for what I wanted to do. So saying yes, okay. I am going to talk about SHAKLEE because that's what I do, and that's what helps me. And I just think it's such an awesome vehicle for just helping us overcome those fears and truly serving others and loving others and caring for people and getting to know people and forming relationships. But there's 3 ways to join. You use the products. So if you love them, you feel great. You use the products, but maybe you want to share with other people, just like sharing a restaurant with your best friend, or your mom or your mother-in-law, you're sharing. And so they're like, hey, I want to use that stuff too. So they sign up and, or they just start ordering. And, eventually when you've just shared with, several people, you have your own little, group of people that are ordering. And so you're earning money based on that. Or maybe you see the potential and you truly see how limitless it can possibly be. And so you want to build a business. So you join with a Gold Plus pack or a Super Gold pack because you know that that's such a small investment compared to your potential for the future of earning and personal growth and so much more. And so you join big because you want to be big and you don't want to be limited by your fears saying, no, I can't do that, or whatever the fear is that's in your mind. You're overcoming that. And, honestly, there's something for everyone. SHAKLEE has all of these product lines, and there's over 300 products. So whether you're looking to lose weight or whether you're looking to just feel better every day and beat that afternoon slump, or you're tired of the chemicals in your home and you want something safe for you and your family and the planet, or your skin, you're starting to see those wrinkles in the corner of your eyes and, you want something that is not just a bunch of chemicals concocted to throw on your face. You want something that's actually vitamins for your skin that are going to work with nature and the way that your skin was created so that it can look and feel its best. Or maybe you have a specific issue that you're dealing with. Like maybe you have bad knees and you want, some relief for joint pain. Or maybe, you're getting into menopause and there's lots of, symptoms of that just aren't so pleasant. And, you want something to really help with that without going to the doctor and getting, a bunch of prescriptions that have side effects. So honestly, whatever it is, that's just a little glimpse into a few of the things. But SHAKLEE has something for everyone, and you don't have to get brand new customers every single month because, it's not like a one-time buy and then you go find new customers. People love the products and they keep coming back and they keep ordering. I want my vitamins every month, so I'm going to keep ordering every month, So I love that you don't have to keep looking for people. You do because you want to share with more people, but you don't have to. And then I just want to pose this question to you. How do you see yourself fitting in? Do you see the potential in the business that it could help you overcome your fears and just step out of that comfort zone and help you explode who you're supposed to be and just be a rock star? How do you see yourself fitting into that? Or maybe you don't, and that is totally okay. It's not for everyone, but anyone can do it. Oh no, I feel another cough episode coming on. So I'll finish up here. Okay, so I say embrace your fears. See what you can do. You're in charge of your future, and no one else is. No one else should be, and the lies in your brain shouldn't be either. So I say embrace those fears and do it. And I love this quote. I have no idea who it's from. I tried to look and see if it came from somebody, but I don't know. So the best time to start was yesterday, but the next best time is now. And I truly believe this, because if you could see yourself in a year where you're at, if you're continuing to do the same things now that you're doing now, you're going to be in the same place a year from now that you are right now, right? And if you just pivot a little bit, even just changing your direction, the smallest percentage, send your trajectory way off the original course that you had set for yourself. Small steps really do make big changes. I mean, think about diet. If you were just to take out, if you drink a soda a day, if you took that out, that saves you 15 pounds a year. That's pretty amazing. So I say start now. Don't look back after a year and say, man, I wish I would have started. Start building now, because in a year, you're going to be like, wow, I cannot believe how much I have grown personally, how much I've grown professionally, how much I've helped other people. I mean, it's just, and the opportunities that it's presented to me, it's such an awesome thing. So I just urge you to talk to the person who shared this video with you. Talk to me. I'm going to open it up for questions in just a minute. And I just want you to know that I support you, and I really encourage you to do something today. And I'm not saying run out and sign up right this instant. Unless you want to, that's cool. But just make a decision and do it, and just keep doing it. That's how we form good habits and get rid of bad habits. We just keep doing it. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I think I probably went over 30 minutes by a bit. But thank you for bearing with me. I'm sorry about the coughing. But I hope you have a great day, and I just really hope that you take care, friends, and don't let the fears hold you back. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to say thank you so much again, and truly have a wonderful day. Start thriving now. Stop surviving. It's no fun, and that's not what we're meant for. Bye.